This is the 6th generation CR-V, and it's arguably Honda's most important car. It first went on sale in 1995 and has kept the cash coming in ever since. Amusingly, CR-V stands for Comfortable Runabout Vehicle, which are credentials I'll be testing shortly. Your engine options are limited to hybrid only in the form of the EHEV I have here, or a PHEV plug-in with a 17.7 kWh battery and electric only range of up to 50 miles. Both are powered by a 2-litre Atkinson cycle engine and 2 electric motors, with the standard hybrid able to run in EV mode for short bursts and recharge the 1.06 kWh battery on the move. The CR-V also sports some fresh new looks, which give it serious road presence. But before we hit the road, let's talk about the cabin and practicality. The interior in the CR-V is from the new Honda Civic, which for me is a very good thing because I like that cabin. First of all, it's really well made, everything's put together well, and there are actually physical buttons, believe it or not, in 2025. Some of the materials aren't all that great, these plastics are a bit scratchy, but apart from that, it's a nice cabin. We've got a 9-inch touchscreen display, which works really well, although in typical Honda fashion, the graphics are a bit PlayStation 2. Elsewhere, we've got Bose Hi-Fi, which sound really, really good. A heated steering wheel, heated seats, really lofty driving position, and one thing that I really love is the panoramic sunroof, which lets in loads of light. In the back, the family are going to love it. There's plenty of headroom, and most impressively, there is loads of legroom to the point where I could stretch my legs out. We've got USB-C charging points, we've got heated seats, and check this out, the rear seats recline quite a long way. Could go to sleep back here. If you have a bigger family, then you'll need to look elsewhere, as the CR-V is a strict 5-seater. However, it does have 579 litres of boot space with the rear seats up, and this swells to 617 litres in the plug-in. But enough of the cabin and practicality, let's find out how it drives. This CR-V is a really comfortable car to get about in. Over a bumpy, undulating road, the suspension does a really great job of smoothing things out. What I would say though, is that when you come up against some broken tarmac, the ride does start to feel busier, but it's not intrusive. You just notice the change in the road surface, if anything. In terms of the NVH levels, well, first of all, the engine's really harsh. You don't hear it that much at all, unless you absolutely mash the throttle. But there is more road noise than I would like. Wind noise, not so much, but yeah, quite a lot of noise from the road does make its way into the cabin. But overall, this is a really pleasant car to get about in. So this is a 2-litre 4-cylinder hybrid. We've got 181 brake horsepower, 139 foot-pounds of torque. It will do 0 to 62 in about 9.5 seconds, and it will top out, I think, 116 miles an hour. So in terms of performance, it's brisk. Like, it's not a slow car, it's not fast by any stretch of the imagination, but it has a respectable amount of performance. It has decent throttle response as well. So yeah, it's not an outright fast car, but if you need to get somewhere in a hurry, it will do the job. I know this is not what this car's made for, but I found one of my favorite driving routes, so it's worth seeing what it's like dynamically. We got driving modes, there's snow, there's eco, there's normal, and there's sport. So I'm going to flick it up into sport, see how we get on, shall we? Now, the first thing I noticed is that when you tip it into a corner for such a tall car, the body control is actually pretty good. It has decent grip, although when you push on, it will understeer a little bit. Inevitably, this is still a large family vehicle. That said, I wouldn't say it's outright fun, but you know what? It performs better than I thought it would. The steering's actually really nice. It's reassuringly weighty, not too much, not too little. Gives you a nice sense of where the front wheels are, I think. And the brakes are pretty good as well. The brake pedal's quite progressive, which was a surprise for me. Yeah, look, this is not what this car is built for, but if you want to have a bit of fun, you can do it within reason. One thing that has taken me by surprise is the fuel efficiency. I thought because it was a hybrid, it would be really economical, but it's not as economical as I thought it was going to be. In a mixture of driving conditions, I've managed to average 43 miles to the gallon. But earlier today, I was doing quite a lot of motorway driving, and at a steady 70 miles an hour, this thing was averaging 35 mpg. So it's not terrible, but it ain't great either, Honda. So yeah, I was hoping for better. Now, I need to talk about the price. This thing before options is 45 grand, which is quite a lot. It's also more expensive than all of its rivals. Now, what I would say is that might look a little bit scary on paper, but in real life it might not be such an issue, because who actually buys a car nowadays? Most people just put a deposit down, they pay for it on the monthly, and then they chop it in once the balloon payment is due. So, and Honda do pretty good finance deals. So, you know, if you get down the dealership and you crunch the numbers, it's probably not as bad as it sounds on paper. That said, it still is more expensive than all of its rivals, which is something to consider. Here are some screenshots of finance deals currently available on the Honda UK website for the entry-level CR-V, which costs from £45,930. The cheapest PCP deal is £399 per month for 36 months, with an £8,000 down payment, a Honda deposit contribution of £4,000 and a balloon payment of £23,881 at the end of the term. If you want premium paint for your CR-V, it will cost you an extra £20 per month. And if you prefer to pay the car off entirely, then you'll be looking at a hire purchase agreement, which costs around £850 per month and requires a down payment of £13.5 grand. This is just one example, as pricing varies based on specification. So if you want more info, head to the Honda website. Overall then, what do I think of this Honda CR-V? You know what? I quite like it. It's a big, comfortable, practical family vehicle, and if you've got a family, it does the job perfectly well. What I would say, for the money, I think it's lacking in a few areas. I think the interior is nice, but there could be some more premium materials in here. I would like less road noise while I'm driving along, and I do think Honda, you could do better with the fuel economy, in my opinion. Other than that though, I think this is a cracking car, and if you're out shopping in this area of the market for a family vehicle, you should get down to your local Honda dealership, try one and see what you think for yourself. It's definitely worth considering.